for the checkers in the final laps of this event was a young guy just 18 years old named Casey Atwood. He got a real taste of Daytona right here, upside down, sliding toward the tri-oval. And then a nasty series of rolls. So Casey Atwood is now a veteran, but he's back. And Randy LaJoie, as you heard, he's ready to put that number 1 right.
Caution is out at Daytona at lap 15 in the Napa 300. Jeff Green, last year's runner-up, there he is climbing. He's already got his cap on.
Wow.
After flipping that car at 190 miles an hour, he's got a sponsor cap on and walking away. I guess he's all right.
Boy, that just tells you how well these cars are built, and the roll cage did its job because he turned over several times down the front straightaway.
Hat rack made out okay, too.
Finished second in this race last year, second in the point standings. There's Kelly Denton's car, number 75. He was involved.
Kelly is okay, surveying the damage. Jason Jarrett was one of the cars involved. Also Phil Parsons, Wayne Grubb.
And Jason Jarrett drove away from the accident. He spun out. I don't think he hit anything hard.
There's the Pamico Chevy of Mike Skinner. And he says he can't turn the car. He tells the crew, so he's going to take it behind the wall. One more car there against the wall. Our view blocked by the safety truck. I believe that's the 83 of Wayne Grubb. And
yeah,
he's okay.
He's out checking the damage, see if he can fix it if they take him back into the garage area. But this is a very important finish. It's a points race. Even though you tear your car up, you try to get back in the action as you possibly can.
They're pushing Mike Skinner, the Lowe's onboard camera, in Skinner's car. Now, in the drivers' meeting, they told the drivers and teams, if you bring your car to the garage, you have one chance to fix it and take as long as you want. But when you bring that car back onto the speedway, if it's not able to run at competitive speed, the next trip to the garage is the last one for the day. You'd have to park it. So you see members of Skinner's crew going to work. Let's see what happened here. Coming through the tri-oval.
Jeff Green gets a little assistance there from behind, and you can see the car just lifting off the ground right there. It rolls several times here, but you notice the part that he's in does not really hit the racetrack. It rolled on the nose and then settled down on the racetrack. The flaps did their job. They have flaps in the roof of these cars to keep them from flying and just keep on flying. It dropped right down.
Tim Fedowa was one of those who went spinning. Pit stops. The order of the day for most of the teams, Bob Evans' team, that's Randy LaJoie's car in the pits, and Atwood running around there with the Jack Robert Larkin. Just about everybody has pitted. Finishing up on LaJoie. And here to several cars.
So here's Jeff Green, and see as we come up on him here.
Okay, they're just now coming in the dogleg. Right here, they make contact. You can see him getting sideways right there. Now watch the car just lift right off the ground about here and starts to fly. I can tell you those cars on the outside, they're going, let me get by, and everybody missed him as he slides across there.
Look at Fedowa just shoot right through all that traffic to the infield grass without getting hit. I believe the car that made contact was Bobby Hamilton Jr., number 26. And it looked to me as if Hamilton was as low on the racetrack as he could be. There's his white car. He's right down against the white line.
It looked like Green might have come down a little bit as he went through the trial.
Well, and at that place, the car is very, very light. And you can, if you could physically get your hand out the window, you could make a car slide by just touching it with your hand. That's how light they are in that area of the racetrack.
The luckiest fellow in Daytona right then was Tim Fedowa, because he locked the car down and cut it left and came all the way across without incident. Let's ride with Jeff Green.
Like he saw that opening down there on the inside groove and was going to go down there and try to pick up the draft, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. is right there.
From Joe Nemechek's car.
So, boy, I'll
glad to get through that.
And that was Fedewa you saw shooting across the track in front. And Jeff Green once more.
He dived down to the inside, doesn't quite get in that low groove until he hits the other car. And like Buddy said, it doesn't take much at that point of the racetrack.
Boy, that's a nasty feeling when you see sky, dirt. I'm telling you, I've been there. It's not a pleasant thought.
I'm afraid that's the last picture from our Nesquik cam today. We're under caution at Daytona. CBS Sports coverage of the Napa Auto Parts 300 continues after this message and a word from your local station. Getting set for the restart here in the Napa 300 at Daytona after a big flip. Now, here comes the yellow car of Jeff Green. Around off the nose of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Chevy.
Boy, was he fortunate not to get T-boned when he came back on his wheels.
So
Great job of driving.
It was.
Those other drivers.
Yes. Just to
try to keep them informed of what's going on around them.
Report from the 48 car, broken fuel pump on Mike McLaughlin.
That's too bad. He was one of those 27 drivers that were 28 when he was out there on the lead lap. Nemechek is barely on the lead lap. He's at the tail end of it, but he's the last car on the lead lap.
Oh, trouble. 5 cars up in the wall at turn 1.
There's fire coming out of the car right up against the wall there.
77 is Chad Chaffin.
Hut Strickland in the 61.
And the car's still wrecking off, coming off of turn 2 on the backstretch.
A secondary collision in the back straightaway. Now there is Strickland has climbed out. He's okay. A lot of smoke still inside Chaffin's car. Hutt's going to go to his aid.
And Joe Nemechek did get his lap back. He was in front of the leader when he came to the start-finish line.
Chad Chaffin is okay. And there is Adam Petty's car crashed hard in the back straightaway.
Wow, the nose completely flattened on that number 45 there. That's Hornaday.
Yes, Ron.
And the number 3 car.
And Casey Atwood. For the second time, Casey Atwood has come to Daytona, and his car has gone home in the dumpster.
And there's Elton Sawyer in car number 98, one of the 3 Fords in the field.
There's Adam Petty's car. You see Petty moving around inside, a little woozy.
Took a hard hit.
Yeah, there was actually 2 wrecks there.
There were?
They went through the wreck, and then coming off turn 2, they had more problems over there.
Here's Hornaday coming to pit road. That car wounded. Now there is turn 1, the accident location, where 61 Hut Strickland and Chad Chaffin came together. Now that's midway in turn 1. A couple of the other cars there at the bottom of the screen along with some of the safety vehicles, but the other wreck took place coming out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway.
Don't know if it was an aftermath or maybe somebody was still out of control when they came off of turn 2 and finally it caught up with them as they got started down the backstretch or whatever. Anyway, there was another wreck, and here's Hornaday in the pits. A lot of work to do on that car.
Adam Petty is climbing out.
Boy, that's good to see. There for a moment, he was really stunned. He was just barely moving around the car, but you see him starting to get a little more active now.
Look at the front end of that, buddy. He hit something hard.
Yeah, I tell you that. Anytime you see the nose of the car just completely shoved straight back, well, the engine and everything probably moved in that car also.
Say hello to his great-granddad, Lee Petty, who's ailing back near home in Randleman, North Carolina.
Had some surgery about 10 days ago.
Hope he's okay.
So if you wish him the best. Adam's still a little bit woozy
Yeah, he's
as he
a little
walks
groggy there. I tell you, they take him over to the care center here, and it's a well-staffed infield here, a hospital that they take all the drivers. It's mandatory you go once you're in a wreck here in Daytona.
The turn 1 crash was Hut Strickland and Chad Chaffin. In the backstretch, Elton Sawyer, Adam Petty, this car, Ron Hornaday, and Casey Atwood. Well, let's try to figure out what happened here as we watch Joe Nemechek leave pit lane. Heading for turn 1.
See, the cars are all bunched up together going into the turn.
Okay, right there, you can see the 77 car, Chad Chaffin, getting in trouble. He goes up and collects Hut Strickland in the 61. Fire breaks out as they slide along the wall, and you can see many other cars involved in the accident just behind there.
And some cars taking evasive action, getting down on the flat part of the racetrack and coming on around. Now, whether when they came off of that flat part, that caused the second wreck, don't know yet.
Well, Elton Sawyer got into those two. That's what damaged his car, and there was one other car that hit the two of them. There's the aftermath. And the initial contact appeared to be from Jack Sprague. That is Hornaday's car down at the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, they all stopped on the back straightaway. The real wreck was over going into turn 1 there. Wow.
Looks like fuel pump broken off one of those cars up in the left front location. Those are the flames you see. Most of that smoke is tire smoke. The best news, everybody climbed out. Okay. Let's show you what Ron Hornaday saw. Now that's Chad Chaffin, the red car to his right.
He gets turned right in front of him.
There goes Casey Atwood, yeah, on the inside there.
And here's the second part of it. Off turn 2, Adam Petty hard in the wall.
You know, I saw a piece of a tire go up in the air there. It looked like he had a flat tire, and the actual part of the radial tire came off as he hit the wall there. So Adam Petty probably had a flat tire that triggered that.
From Randy LaJoy, watching Adam Petty in turn 2.
Yeah, you can see the tire itself came right off there. Adam Petty was in trouble. He actually went down on the flat there and then back up.
Could it have been that he maybe cut it from that other accident back there, came through that, and then it went flat as he came off that turn?
You're exactly.
We're under caution at Daytona. Michael Waltrip has just taken a stinging sidewinder flyer from the tri-oval down toward turn 1. One car got in the back of him, and he went for a ride, and he's climbing out okay.
Under his own power. They're not having to help him out. That's a good sight.
I think that roof has been mashed down a little bit and closed the window area. Michael is a big guy anyway, and needs all the room he has. Throws his hand up, waves to the crowd. That was a wild ride.
So Waltrip will get into the ambulance. That mandatory trip to the care center, which has had a busy day. And there is no sheet metal left of the top of that windshield and leading edge of the roof. On Michael Waltrip's car, you can see where the windshield was and where it's all pushed down. Look at here. Ripped right through it. Is that abraded 1,000 feet down the asphalt?
And you notice the windshield is made out of a substance that does not break anymore. So a long time ago, that would have went up in the grandstand. So they're going along with safety all the time.
Michael was running in 6th position when this happened. He came by the start-finish line. Let's take a look at what did happen.
He's going to get a tap here, Ned, as he comes off the tri-oval down on the inside of the racetrack.
Right there. He gets touched right there. Now, this car goes way up in the air. When it turns around, you see it start to fly there. Turns completely up and pancakes right down on the roof.
That's what did all that roof damage you were talking about. Then it goes into a barrel roll.
Side over side, many, many times. Now it's on the nose of the car and then hits hard on the back.
That looked much like Ricky Rudd's flip here in 1984 in what was then the Busch Clash. Here's another look. Jay Sauter has a little push coming out of the tri-oval and just gets into Waltrip.
And they were just coming out of the tri-oval, and at that point of the racetrack, you're almost out of control anyway, buddy. And and just a little tap sent him around.
Absolutely. And the other thing, the roof flaps couldn't work because it went around so quickly, and the minute the back addressed the air, it went straight up in the air.
Buddy, the pits are open. Dick Berggren.
Kevin Harvick is in. He is going to take 2 tires. The 00. Buckshot Jones has beaten him out. Childress wanted to take 4 tires on that number 2 car. The pit crew overruled him. They took 2 because they wanted the car to be a little looser.
When you go home, I'll tell you that.
Wow, Michael Waltrip's number 7. Not much left.
Here he is.
And Jay Sauter, right there, they make contact. Jay Sauter turns to the outside, gets away from Waltrip. Right here, you can see the back come off the ground.
And then it digs in and starts that barrel roll. Normally you see that when it gets on the grass, but it started before it got off the pavement.
The good part of that wreck, they can make another car, but Michael Waltrip's okay. He walked to the ambulance.
That's here, Jay Sauter, he's trying to hold control of that car, but it slips up the racetrack with a little bit of push, and as Waltrip goes over, when he comes down on his roof.
Right on the roof, yes.
And then it just keeps carrying momentum. It starts to go.
You know, I raced for 35 years, and I never did that.
Good thing.
Never did that. Thank goodness.
Here's another look. You see the back end just lifts up off the ground. You see it's going to come right down on that, about the top of the windshield.
Any way you look at that, that was hard contact. That just tells you the cars are very, very strong.
You know, in recent years, NASCAR has mandated added bars to the roll cage, including one down the center of the windshield and one which would be where your vent window would be if cars still had those. And I think that bar, that vertical bar, helped prevent the windshield, the top of the windshield of Michael Waltrip's car from collapsing down on him, and certainly saved him from serious injury.
You're right, and that bar runs right down in that area of the windshield, and they call it the Earnhardt bar.
From Randy LaJoie. There's what's left of Michael Waltrip's car. We'll be back to Daytona after this.